Good evening, this is Pine Leaf Needles, and welcome to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. Tonight, I have with me Andang,
Hey, everybody.
Braxwolf,
Hello, everybody.
Ethelros,
Hello.
and Draculeta.
Hey, everybody.
Tonight, we have a slow news week.
We got a huge news week. It's just a slow LOTRO news week.
Okay. We have a slow LOTRO news week, but we do have plenty of information considering things here at LOTRO Players. We'll begin with the Helm's Deep news, where there have been some new dev diaries. And we'll begin with the Lore Master dev diary.
Which there's one person who knows a lot more about the Lore Master than anyone else in the world, almost.
Go for it, Pine Leaf.
I thought that was Ethelros who knew that.
Well, I know some things. It was fairly significant, at least compared to certain other dev diaries that have been recently released. The basis of it seems to be that the red line is just going to get bigger and flashier than it already is. The yellow line is meant to be more involved than it currently is, where it's mostly hitting a few skills every so often. And then the blue line is the one getting the most significant changes, as evidenced by I wrote more about that than the other two put together. I'm putting my hopes on the blue line because that's the one I've always been most interested in using, but it's just never been viable for me.
Yes, and since I'm a traditional blue line player, I guess I'm going to look forward to that one too.
Is that the pets line?
Yeah, it is. It's currently the pet/healing line, which makes it kind of awkward. Let's hoping that they're removing the healing part and then putting it more into yellow, which is a support, so it seems more, makes more sense to put it there. I'm hoping it's a good one because Sikkim looks very good.
Yes.
Yeah, so my
We'll
lore
see how that
master is
works.
he's at 66 now, I think, and I think the things that interested me the most about this diary were the DPS line. I figured I'd probably switch between the DPS line when I solo and maybe the Ancient Master when I was in groups. I mean, the pets might be good, but they're going to have to be a lot better than they are now to be interesting.
Yeah, that was something I mentioned as well, is that statistically the pets just aren't good. Even like when you increase their base stats by like 50%, it's still so low that you just, the increase just isn't enough. What they're going to have to do
They
is...
just give me a light bulb, though. I will be playing with pets in blue line.
A light bulb?
Yeah, the weird light bulb pet
The
that
spirit.
nobody cares about.
What do you mean no
I
one
care
cares
about it.
about?
Okay, fair enough. Merrick doesn't care about it from CSTM and thinks nobody cares about it.
Why does he think that?
I have no idea. Ask
When
Merrick.
it first came out, it was trash, basically. It was only in a couple of weeks after an update that they made it worth using, which just probably soured a lot of opinions.
And this historical LOTRO moment was brought to you by Merrick.
Yeah.
The light bulb doesn't do any damage, does it?
No, it's a
debuff?
healing pet/debuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I would be interested either.
Yes, it's a pet that is great in several certain situations where you don't want a pet wandering off to grab things. It's especially nice in the skirmish, the skirmish rescue at Nerzgashu, where the last thing you want is your pet going around attacking the Goliath whenever he turns nasty.
Yeah.
Or breaking CC.
Or breaking CC and things like that.
Yeah.
Now, the other dev diary we had was for the minstrel.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You want to call it a dev diary?
Yeah, okay. There wasn't much in there, mainly because I have a feeling that since the minstrel changed so much a couple of years ago, that what's there left really to change on the minstrel?
I think they're going to nerf it.
Maybe. Or maybe they thought that they wrote enough about it with Isengard that they don't need to write any more.
They changed the name of
Well,
War Speech.
Well, what'd they change it to?
I don't remember.
oh, they called it. It's called dissonance.
Dissonance. Yeah, it actually makes more sense with a minstrel.
Yeah, because they call it resonance for the healing stance and dissonance for
Right.
the damaging stance.
I think someone actually suggested that way back when they originally brought out War Speech. I just seem to have a vague memory of someone suggesting dissonance as it, which is quite interesting.
So it looks like they finally got around to reading that particular request.
Yeah, we just need to wait 5 years for that.
And the
However
other
much
weird
out.
thing is that melody, which used to be the healing stance, is going to be the neutral stance. One
I
in
thought
between.
Melody currently is the neutral no stance.
No, harmony is the neutral. Is currently the.
How many stances does the minstrel have?
I thought
Three
they
of
had
them.
2.
Well, they currently have. Well, right now, if you don't have any stance, it's the third stance, which is the healing stance, and that you have to start a stance in order to go into your neutral stance or into your war speech
Okay.
stance. I have a feeling that most likely. Well, who knows what's on their mind.
The thing
Something,
that confused me about the minstrel diary was because I don't play minstrel, so I'm probably confused
Yeah.
to start with. But they talked about they're going to have the 3 trees like everybody else, but they're still going to have the 3 stances. So you can be in a healing stance and in the DPS tree at the same time.
Yeah,
hope not.
that's what they're. Well, I think that's what they're. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I'm wondering if.
I'm thinking that's a miscommunication because every other dev diary has had them doing away with stances pretty much completely. Giving the minstrel the
Well,
exception to it seems a bit off.
well, one of the problems is that when a minstrel that is spec'd to heal, if they can't go into war speech while soloing.
Well, couldn't you just pick a different tree and that has war speech factored into it? Like, it seems like that's how classes are working right now. Or with the dev diaries that they put out.
We will
Yeah.
have to see what really is. We'll know on November 18th.
Hopefully we'll know before then.
Yeah,
All right,
something
we'll know the
a
day
few
that-
people pointed out actually was that the minstrel DPS line is going to be single target focused, which is a notable change since last time I played my minstrel, almost all of the damage skills, the big ones at least, were multi-target.
The big ones, yes. The calls and things like that
Yeah.
tended to be multi-target. The ballads and stuff like that tended to be single target.
Hmm.
And the other interesting thing is they did say that there is going to be, while you're in the healing tree, a trait that when you crit with Piercing Cry, so you'll still have access to Piercing Cry, but it's going to help in your healing, give everybody in a healing buff if you have to be in resident stance. So this is saying that there is this case where it interacts best with resonant stance, which implies that there are going to be 3 stances on top of the trees.
I'm just hoping that the healing the minstrel does is more focused on reactive than it currently is, because I think when they with Rise of Isengard, they kind of added a whole bunch of heal over times, and it kind of stepped on the Runekeeper's toes a bit. I just think hoping that they're back to more doing big heals rather than big heals plus heal over time, so that they don't really need to use as many big heals as they need to before.
Well, we'll have to see. Anyway, it doesn't look like there are any big, huge, major changes, but we'll have... time will tell. Let's see. How about the next item on here, which had to do with a Facebook giveaway for beta keys. Now, I don't think it's on anymore. I think the Facebook giveaway is over, but we were thinking you might have some opinions on that.
Yes, should we describe what happened there? So what happened is that, see, I asked the question, I'm going to go do it anyway. Um, LOTRO posted on their Facebook site that, and they tweeted it out. Actually, they used all their social networking prowess and platforms to send the message that if you want a beta key, go like them on their Facebook page. And when you did that, then you could also go click a link that was on their Facebook page, on their wall, or whatever they call it now, that sent you to another application. I think it was called, I don't remember what it's called.
OfferPop.
OfferPop, yeah. So watch out for OfferPop. And in that application, you could click to get a code, and it would just send you to some other site that would give you a beta code. So basically, anybody who wanted to go get a beta code for the Helm's Deep expansion could do so. It was wide open to anybody who was willing to go through those steps on the Facebook page.
Didn't they already have one of these? A few times, actually.
This time around, all I remember seeing is they gave away stuff on Twitter, but didn't. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say I don't think they've really used Facebook nearly as much as they have Twitter before. I don't remember anything like this, at least.
Okay.
And I know in the forums, the biggest complaint cry was the whole OfferPop thing, because with that you had to basically give it access to all of your friends on Facebook. You had to give it access to your wall and access to your email address and your friends' email addresses if you had them in your contact list. And that was the biggest problem people were having with it, which I can understand why.
Yes, so therefore...
Yeah. There's other ways to get beta codes, though. It's an optional thing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, well, since I really don't do all that much with Facebook, I think I completely ignored that.
I think people who have Facebook, though, a lot of them are kind of used to that. That's kind of par for the course for anything you do on that site.
Yeah, it is.
For me personally, I can see why people would be upset about that whole thing. I don't really use Facebook, so it just doesn't affect me because I would never use it. What actually bothers me about it is, in light of what happened when they initially started out the beta, on the forums there were a huge amount of NDA breaks by people who just logged in, saw the changes, and then went, "Oh, I'm going to break it now because I'm not happy." You think after something like that, Turbine would be more careful about who they select to join the beta program?
Yeah, and I
with
think
this,
that, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I think that that's a much bigger issue that I have, at least with this, is I think that that they haven't, in years past, they've made sure to really limit the way that beta works, and you had to actually buy the expansion to get into it. And this year we've seen a lot of NDA breaches by people who have been lucky enough to get into the beta. And for people like me who are looking at them and saying, well, I'd like to be in beta and I wouldn't break NDA, it seems kind of ridiculous, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's just that with this, you don't even need necessarily to actually play the game at all. For as far as I can tell, you can just like the page, and if you haven't played the game before, you can get a sneak peek at it and then never come back. What good does that do anyone?
It's a good offer, but it's not good in the aspect of NDA.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's just...
I think it's about a month too early. If it were right when the NDA got lifted.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, then this would be perfectly fine. Invite everybody. For all.
I think the main point is just it doesn't help their game's development, really.
It does,
Not
at
as
the
much
very
as it
least, it doesn't help the press of the game, assuming that it, beta is still in a bad place like it was, or opinion people thought it was in a bad place like it was beforehand.
Well, I think I see messages where people posting beta is in the worst state ever for a beta in the history of the game. Every time we have a new one come out, and there's only been one time where Turbine actually delayed the release because they decided that perhaps the people were right who were saying that.
Yeah, that happens every year, but this seems like it's on a whole nother level, and I think that's partly because they've kind of opened the doors to anyone who wants to get in. You don't have to pay any money or anything like that, which is fine in theory. Like, I'm not throwing anything against them, but those type of people are a lot more likely to break NDA and do things like that. And so it just seems. I mean, on the one hand, I'm glad that they're opening beta up to everybody, but on the other hand, I'm not because, it's going to hurt them, I think.
Yeah, ideally you want people who are invested in the game's future to actually be in there, because they'll be more likely to try and steer it into a better course.
Well, actually, based on concerning something that you said, you did not have to have bought the expansion in order to get into the beta. You had a better chance.
Right, that's true. Yes, you're correct.
All right. Well, next go to a little change in the marketplace. They've been doing a couple of things in the marketplace. One of them is that Helm's Deep can now be gifted.
Yes,
which is one of the complaints they had.
Turbine has ever made in their entire life. It's fantastic. I'm so happy. No, honestly though, this was one of my biggest pet peeves with Helm's Deep, was that they didn't allow you to gift it with friends. And whenever we asked Sapience at the press conference we went to a little while ago, he said that he didn't have he didn't have a time frame in which he thought that it would actually be coming out, and so I was really surprised to see it come out so soon. And so this made me really, really happy, and I'm glad Turbine listened to our complaints and got to work and made a new solution to allow us to surprise friends. And one thing that's really, really good about this change is that now you can buy a Helm's Deep code, and then with one of the bonus things, you can get your friend like all 4 of the expansions, or you can get your friend the Turbine points at a lower cost. And so that's one thing that's really, really nice about this change, is it opens it up because it gives you 2 separate codes, or however many versions you buy.
No, so it's not just taking away a feature we already had and then giving it back.
Right, because of the way that they're doing the where they have the checkout items now, which they didn't have. They had last year, but it wasn't. It was just Turbine points last year, I think. And then this year they have the quad pack, so now you can give the quad pack to somebody who wants it. And I don't know how the upgrade works, because does the upgrade give you a code as well? I don't know how that one works. We'll have to look into that, I guess.
All right. And also concerning the marketplace, there are 2 new bundles that are now available. One of them is a mount bundle where you can get all 9 of the mounts, of the class mounts, the Seed of the Hunter, Guardian, la 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 la, for the nice low price of $150 US.
If I was drinking something, I would have spit it out at that point.
Which, if my math is correct, that breaks it down to about 1667 a steed.
Yes, but that, of course, is that every character you've got does receive one.
So that saves, like, what, 2 or 3 steeds, assuming you only use it on 1 character? And if you use it on 2 characters, then that's, double, all those extra steeds are all savings.
Yeah, something like that. It all depends on how many steeds you actually would use of these things. And considering the fact that I have only 1 class steed on all of my characters combined, and that one won it in the lottery, that tells you that, am I really going to be going around jumping up and down in joy to get these mounts?
I think if you're someone who has a lot of alts, this is a really good deal, assuming you haven't gotten any of the steeds and you want them. But I think it's definitely a very specific market. They're not going to try to market this to everyone, and that's why it's not, at least not yet, in the in-game store, I don't believe. It's just in their outside.
Too, so.
Yeah,
people might buy them for the war steeds.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so that adds a little bit of value.
Yeah, because you have the gear slots or something like that, which.
Mm-hmm.
I still think you're crazy if you buy it.
Most likely, I have a feeling. Probably more to the taste of most people are the Quest Pack bundle, which is which includes all of the non-expansion quest packs,
Which is a really good deal, I think.
and that's for $80.
It's a really
And
good
if
deal,
you
I
don't
think.
have any quest packs currently, that could be a pretty good deal for you.
But it's one of those things where you have to know in advance that you
Yes,
want all
because
the
if
quest
you
packs.
have all but 2 of them, then it's not going to do you much good.
Yeah, because a lot of them are considered optional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I do hope is that they keep these deals going to where they'll have, even more quest packs in the future added in.
Well, it'll be a while before there's another quest pack since it won't be until they add whatever the spring area is for.
Yeah, but moving forward, assuming they don't raise the cost too much for each one, if at all, then that, it just continues to get a little bit better of a deal each time.
All right.
This seems to be part of Turbine starting to make it easier for people who are lower level to get everything they need to get to a higher level.
That's one thing that I have to really give my hats off to them, is this is the first expansion that I can remember where they're actually, Moria kind of because you got the new classes, but this is really the first expansion where they seem to be focusing on new players. And they really haven't had focus on new players as long as I can remember. I can't remember a time where they had a focus on new players to this extent, and I'm really, really glad that they're doing this. It's a good plan.
Of course, there are some people who are grumbling about that.
Yes, and I can see why, but the fact that they haven't looked at him at all, I think it's great that they're finally giving him attention that they need.
Yes. Now,
new players were almost as bad as PvP players as far as attention that they were getting, to be honest. That's legitimately where I consider him at, as far as what Turbine's looking at him.
all right. Now let's go into the sales for this week in the store, LOTRO store. And now, of course, this is with turbine points instead of money, as the last 2 were. For sales, our free sample, which is an enhanced XP supply with the code SUPXP. And that'll give you one free enhanced XP supply token, which gives you a little bit of blue bar area that can make your experience double at whenever it uses the blue bar. That could be useful in getting yourself while leveling quicker. Of course, if you get them in lotteries or in other situations. I know I have characters that have these coming out of their ears sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely a good offer if you're, moving into the expansion, and they usually give a lot of XP stuff, so that's always good.
Right. And also, on sale this week for 20% off, the big one is writing traits. And by writing traits, I mean things like your writing skill, but also the account-wide things for journeyman or apprentice writing skills.
Yep, I use that faster mount speed every second I can. It's great.
So you could help to zip yourself up your way through Middle Earth, and also if you have a large number of alts that you're starting, then you don't have to buy the writing trait for all of them. It just gets them in one fell swoop. Of course, if you did just want the writing trait for one character, you can get that for 20% off also. We also have 20% off for the premium wallet upgrade.
And quite rare to have on sale, I think.
Yeah,
from what I remember.
I don't remember seeing it on sale for. I know it's been on sale before, but I don't. It's been a long time since it's been on sale.
For the experienced disabler.
I bought this, but not with the sale. I don't actually use it to just not level absolutely, stop there. I use it to manage how quickly I'm doing it, so I can finish, at the same pace as a zone.
Yes, I use that on my Gladden Warden, since that character I'm trying to as you noted, trying to stay about the same level as the quests that I'm doing. And of course, this character is doing quests all over the place, which means I'm bouncing all back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back. So it can be difficult sometimes in all that bouncing around. But if you're going to be doing all those level 50, level 45 to 50 quests from the original game, then if you don't have an experienced disabler, you are going to outlevel that stuff pretty quickly. Rejuvenation potions. I know, big deal. Universal morale and power potions. And finally, housing decorations.
I haven't looked at housing decorations. Is there anything good in the store?
Well, one possibility are the guards for your home where you could have
Oh,
a...
right. Those
Yeah,
are
I
cool.
don't remember these ever being on sale. So
Yeah, that's what I was about to
really
say.
don't. All right, I might have to get a guard.
Yeah, so we'll have to see about that.
yeah, just a quick note on the potions. Yeah, if you buy these, you are nuts. Even more so than the mount thing, because you're gonna get so many of those from the Hobbit presents, you won't know what to do with them.
Yes, I know what you mean. Maybe there are some people who actually use these constantly or something like that. But I'm certainly not one of them. Let's go on to LOTRO Players News. And we'll begin with the Fellowship Walk, which is the biggest thing that we're handling right now because donations are currently open and they are currently standing at $1,045, which is 20% of our overall goal.
Yes, today we had a huge rush of donations with our walk. We earned $535 in a 2-hour period. It was fantastic. A big thanks to everyone who donated today and the entire time we've been doing the walk. It's just been awesome seeing the amount that people have been donating to it. It's been very humbling. So thank you guys.
Yes, and if you want to see our reactions to this, we do have a post concerning at our YouTube channel. We had the first half of today's walk already up, but the second half of it has to be put up separately due to we had so many donations, the walk took over 2 hours. So,
Yep.
so we're having to split up the video.
Yep. And we'll put a post up about those videos later this week sometime.
Yeah, wasn't there even some question whether we were going to be able to walk today, and then all of a sudden, not only did we get to walk, we got to 2 extra places. So.
Yeah, I think it was like 1 or 2 days before we got $69 that we needed to get to be able to walk, and then during the walks we just kept on getting more and more donations, and they were really small ones. They were like $10 to $20 ones, and so it felt a lot like a webathon because we just kept on getting more and more donations, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on the broadcast.
Yes. In light of this, or perhaps partly because of the giveaways I'm about to talk about, that may help to spur these donations, and that is, Andang posted a message indicating some incentive for bringing up the donations, which by October 5th, if we reach certain milestones, we will be giving away certain items.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and go through those. So since we made it to 1,000, we are currently giving away 2 Steam Steely Dawn packs, which those contain 500 turbine points, 100% XP boost, Evandim quest pack, and the Steely Dawn cosmetic armor set. And all you need to do is just leave a comment on the giveaway post for those 2. And you can get that. And then at 1,500, if we make that by this Saturday, we will be giving away a 60-day VIP code. And if we make it to 2,000, we will give away another 60-day VIP code. If we make it to 3,000 by this Saturday, we will be giving away a quad pack. Hats off to Turbine for letting us buy codes. And if we make it to 4,000, we will get the Helm Steep Premium Edition giveaway. So that would be fantastic. And if we don't make those goals by then there will be new offers later, but they will be harder to get to as we go longer. So the quicker we get things going, the quicker that we can get better rewards at lower goals.
Very well. Anyone have any comments on any of this?
Well, I would say that is very good, but personally, I think it was my impression of Glorfindel that really brought in the donations.
All right.
That's funny. And a big thanks to everyone who's donated to LOTRO players in the past. That's how we were able to do a lot of these items to give away. So thank you guys for donating to LOTRO players. It's allowing us to do these incentive giveaways now. So thank you guys.
Very well. Thank you, everyone, for that. Now, for the I'm trying to have a look at this. I'm trying to see what the Steely Dawn thing looks like.
Well, it's not a steed. It's Steely. But I don't know what the cosmetic thing looks like, so I don't know.
Yes.
But it does have Evendim and 500 turbine points, so that's worth it.
And Everdim is the best zone in the game, so it's definitely worth getting.
It's ever since the revamp, it's a pretty good zone. So
actually, I do have a picture here from Cosmetic LOTRO where someone's wearing the head, shoulders, well, only the head and shoulders from Steely Dawn, not the rest of it. So I'd like to see the rest. All
okay,
right.
Well, we know the top half of them now.
We know the top half. All right. Now let's go about auctions. Or is this actually active giveaway? You had a giveaway thing here?
Yeah,
that's what we just talked about.
Yep.
Yes. All right. The auctions. What auctions are currently available? We still have the One Ring available.
Yes, that is available until the 14th, I want to say. Sometime in October, mid-October. Let me look at it quick. Oh, the 21st is when it ends. Okay. So you have till the 21st to bid on that, and currently it's at 155, I believe.
All right, and that is going to be I'm sure everyone's going to want that. Let's face it, only $125 for world domination.
155 for world domination, but yeah, a good price for world domination nonetheless.
Yeah. All right, 155. We also have from Weta the Disturber of the Peace artwork.
Yes, and this one is currently at $75 by Golden Star. And do you really want Golden Star to win the Disturber of the Peace Weta item?
Why
Maybe
not?
you do. I don't know. But
What are you saying, Andy?
you probably want this on your wall, not Golden Star's wall.
Maybe she wants it for Baby Hobbit.
It might get messed up by Baby Hobbit, so we have to protect the picture, the integrity of the painting.
He's backtracking now.
Baby. But yeah, that is going for $75 right now and held by Golden Star. So try to outbid her, see what happens. And that one only lasts till October 7th. So that one has a shorter goal.
We also have a Mega Die Pack for Winfola. I believe that's the Mega Die Pack for Winfola.
Yes, it is, and it is amazing. There's 5 indigo, 5 green, 5 orange, 5 ranger, 5 rose, 5 rust, 5 sienna, 5 turquoise, 5 yellow, 5 burgundy, 5 crimson, 5 dark green, 5 Evendim, 5 gold, 5 gray, 5 navy, 5 olive, 5 purple, 5 olive again, 5 red, 5 Rivendell, 5 sea blue, 5 umber, 5 violet, 5 white, and 5 black. It is an insane die pack. And
Okay.
that's
Oh.
currently going for 35 with no current bidders, but it is an amazing deal if you
Yes.
want dies.
So I wanted to
Ah.
jump in. My kinship actually donated this on Winfola, so it is pretty cool. And if you're into dyeing stuff, you got enough to dye, you know, one outfit for every day of the month, just about. And I don't know, did we put all of in there twice? That's my fault if we did, because I did the spreadsheet
It
wrong.
might be. I might have just read it wrong, but
Okay. So
Olive's a
yeah,
good
there were
color.
a lot.
we might have actually done it twice if I put it in the spreadsheet twice.
And just so everyone knows, if you're part of LOTRO Players staff, you can donate to, or you can bid on auctions. They're not closed from LOTRO Players staff. So. As long as you pay the money.
As long as you pay them. Oh, minor little detail. Yes. Oops. That was.
Uh-oh. Technical
Right,
difficulty.
now.
Technical
Yeah,
difficulty.
technical difficulty. All right, next item is Grid 2.
Yes, this is, I believe Miss donated this, or maybe it was from one of our partners, I don't remember, but definitely a cool racing game, and I believe its current price on market is 60, and you can get it here for only 35 is the current bid, and that one goes till October 8th.
And that's on October 8th. And it looks like that's the starting bid.
Yep. So be sure to get on that. It's a good price. So any other auctions anyone wants to mention that they're interested in?
Well, maybe someday we can have a Pine Leaf Skirmish auction that lasts for more than an hour.
Yeah, Miss is going to repost that auction probably because there's a glitch on that.
Oh,
There will be several
you did
more.
intentionally do it?
I believe
As-
there will be several more of those coming out in the near future.
All right. And that would be good to see, and I'm hoping to give the Laurel and people another chance at that because, unfortunately, due to the glitch, it was posted while they were all asleep, and it was over before they woke up.
Ah, well, we'll get it fixed up.
Yes. Titles. Yes. We have a title for anyone who participates in the Fellowship Walk.
Yes, a big, ginormous thanks to Sapiens for giving us titles that we can give out to everyone. He gave us 1,000 codes for titles. So if you were with any part of if you were at any part of the walk, if you watched any part of the feed, write in, say something that we know that you watched that part or were there doing that part, and we'll give you a title code.
Or you
And
can just say that Lillykate is the bomb, and you'll get one.
You weren't supposed to tell him about that, Atheros. Come on.
It's a
But,
secret that
um,
everyone knows.
I think that works. Yeah.
But that really does work. But if you send them into fellowshipwalk@gmail.com, I believe, then that will get you your title.
And that will get you your title, yes. And the title is An Unexpected Traveler.
Yep.
And therefore, with that, we kicked off with a birthday party for
Yes,
Bilbo
we
and all.
we had a birthday party for Frodo and Bilbo as well. Kicking off the day with Hobbit Day. That was what that day was on. And we had a ton of fun. We had over 200 people because Lotro actually retweeted about the party. And I believe maybe posted on Facebook, I don't remember. But they helped us out getting people to come, and it was really, really an awesome experience. And one thing I have to give my hats off to Lillykate and Mystery because they planned this thing out so well. It didn't even run over. I was amazed at how well timed out it was, how it kept us all engaged. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think I've yet to see any other event that actually went. Actually, I think some plays might have gone on schedule, but Yes, so usually trying to put on a concert or something like that, it's very hard to keep things in time. So,
Yeah, and it really did feel like a weather stock on a smaller scale. It was just
yes.
fantastic. It had that level of organization to it, and so definitely hats off to Kate. Part of that's probably because she's one of the organizers for Weatherstock, and so that helped us a lot there.
Ah,
So,
yes, that does help a little bit if you have some experience on that side.
hmm
Now, what's our progress so far on Bilbo's birthday day
yes, this
after?
this post was basically giving some rules and stuff like that or guidelines, I suppose, not rules, about the walk and suggestions to keep us from getting lost and keep things moving, stuff like that. And we also had a poll, and I believe the result was to walk not in a direct line, but just walk together. So.
All right, that explains. Yes, it was 63% to walk more casually, 37% to walk in a single file.
It was at, I think, it was at a lot of votes, and it was still at like 50-50. And it kept going back and forth between one and then the other one would catch up. It was pretty entertaining to watch that poll. I think that's the closest poll we've had.
I imagine this was in response to us getting lost in the Shire.
Yes, it was.
Yes, but the picture that was posted is of the inspection line for the wardens.
hmm
All right. Then the next item are broadcast archives.
Yep, this is just a post we made with the previous two broadcasts, and there'll be another one coming up soon with the broadcast we did today. And so if you missed it, you can watch it, and since you watched the broadcast, you can technically get a title because you were part of the stuff, as long as we have enough to give out. So hurry up and watch the broadcast if you want to get a title.
Yes, and if you wish to participate in the walk, it is not too late. We still have several more weeks in which to walk. If you do not have a character currently on Langeville, no problem. You could just go over to Langeville, create a new character. While our next walk will be starting at Tom Bombadil's house, we should eventually be making it to Bree if you have trouble getting past the
Yeah, and our
lower
security
levels.
team will offer to, before the walk, get people there. And if you send me a tell, I'll try to do something to get you there, assuming it's not too close to start time. And yeah, we'll look after new characters and make sure they get to join us.
Very well. That's good. Now let's head over to other news not pertaining to the walk. We'll begin with LOTRO Academy, which had episode 85 of Fellowship Walking. Well, okay, I guess it does pertain to the Fellowship Walk.
Just can't get away from it.
You just can't get away, yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yes, and that was an interview with Mist. Yes, we interviewed Mystery concerning her role in the Fellowship Walk, which was not exactly the toughest interview to arrange, considering that Mystery is one of the regular hosts of the show.
Yeah, it was definitely funny hearing you guys not know what to call it, if it's an interview or if it's just going with her and being awkward about it. It was really funny. I definitely recommend everybody watch that, and you also learn a lot about the walk with that as well. So definitely a good episode.
We also had episode 12 of an unexpected vidcast. And there we learned what happened with the double eviction.
It's a
I don't
Anyone
surprise.
else?
I don't remember if I watched this one actually.
Oh, you haven't watched?
Um,
You didn't watch the double eviction?
Who
watched-
is? Or we can't answer
No.
that, I guess.
I watched it, but I can't say. You guys scolded me one time.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Okay, yes, I remember. And then next week is they're picking who we want to win, right? Not who we want to be kicked out.
Right. Yes. Next.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I think
that
that's
was
going on now, isn't it? I think that vote's going on now.
It is going on right now. So if you want to pick who you want to win the entire thing, make sure to get in and do so before episode 13 gets into the final stages.
Which means that if you are not listening to it live,
Yeah, if you're not listening to our show live, then you probably missed the
missed it.
opportunity.
Yeah, right, missed the opportunity.
But you'll know who won if you go over to
Yeah.
the site. So there you go. And at that point, I think we can reveal it.
Very
Man, I
well.
wish I was in the future.
So if you don't watch Unexpected Vidcast, you can find out who won next week on LOTRO Players News.
Very well. Our next item is a piece called A Parade and Symphony of Lights. And that sounded like a birthday party that they had on Langeville after our party.
Yeah, and it was a good party that they had. There was a lot of good images and stuff like that there. So definitely a good post to look out if you want to find out about other events going on in Landville.
And
This
see
is a
some
good event.
fireworks.
And see some fireworks, yeah.
And then our next thing is an article on common raid mechanics. And that's because he didn't want to get too specific since we are getting close to all these class changes and perhaps people will be changing what they're doing their raids on. So he decided something that was very generic.
Yeah, and that's a good idea. I mean, if these changes are really what the devs say they are, it's going to be huge. You know, it's going to change every guide most likely that's ever been written that deals with classes, because it's just going to change everything. It's a whole new way of combat. It sounds like, or with the not combat, but the way that the classes are set up. So
Yeah. It's
except
just
for
cover
maybe the
certain
mini,
things
who
that-
apparently is keeping their stances.
That's what the dev diary seems to be implying. Walking to Mordor, but one doesn't simply walk to Mordor.
Can't do it.
No.
Not possible.
Yeah. Well, let's forget about that guy Frodo and his friend Sam.
No, that's lies. Never happened.
Yep, never happened.
They flew on the Eagles, right?
They flew on the Eagles, yes.
All right, I need to find a new co-host.
In this case, walking into Mordor, this is an article by Draculetta detailing how long it would take, or actually the distance that was in miles. How did you compute all these values?
There is a book out called The Atlas of Middle-earth.
Fantastic book. I have one of those. It's really good.
And the author actually breaks it down, and she breaks it by miles from this place to this place to this place. So I just took the path and figured it out, and it's 1,779 miles from Hobbiton to Mount Doom.
Whew!
You know, Drac,
Now-
something that I wanted to do when I read your post was I wanted to try and figure out how fast they would have had to have been walking in the period of time that was supposed to happen. But I never got around to it. I forgot to do
I
that.
thought about that, but I was trying to figure out a way to actually figure that out. If I can figure it out, I'll have to do that.
Yeah, and
Now,
this I do want to talk about this book really quick because it's a fantastic book if you're interested in more of the landscape kind of stuff for Middle-earth. It is probably the best book to get. And it's called The Atlas of Middle-earth, and it's by Karen Wynne Fonstad. And definitely a really well done book. Tons of images and maps throughout with text about each one so you can learn more. And I just flip through here looking at the maps a lot of the time. It's just really good.
All right. My question is this. Is 1779 the distance if you walked it reasonably efficiently or if you walked it the route that Sam and Frodo took?
Well, first of all, you have to factor in the fact that they are hobbits, and so that makes it be taking longer anyway.
Well,
Because they're
yes.
closer to the ground and their legs, don't move as fast. And then you have to factor in the fact that stall time and yeah, then you figure it out.
And
Well-
yeah, stopping for meals. How many meals do they
Yep.
eat?
Yeah,
Well,
and so
my-
that adds in another year or
Well,
two.
you've got to remember is that Frodo and Sam, that was one of the problems they had is they didn't have enough food for plentiful meals. So they couldn't have as many meals as they would normally want. But the point is about 1779 is, for example, when they got from the Kirith Ungol to up to Mount Doom, they didn't go straight across. Instead, they went all the way up and circled around Mordor in order to get to Mount Doom.
Right.
So they took a long path. Actually, let's see how many miles they give in here inside. Let's see. We have back to Mr. Frodo, 470 miles. Now Frodo and Sam quest from Rhyros to Mount Doom. So that just gives Rhyros to Mount Doom there. But let's say, for example, that they could walk 20 miles a day.
On the spot math, guys.
So that will give them 88 days to do that, which let's say about 3 months. Which, considering that they started in late September and arrived in Mount Doom in mid-March, but of course they had 2 one-month layovers during the time.
Right, and not taking the most direct route and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, so therefore, I suppose it's theoretically possible.
This sounds
Yep.
like a job for Emerald. Is he the one that did the LOTRO project? Or Lord of the Rings project, I mean? You ought to check that out if you
Don't
haven't.
remember. It's a good project, and I've definitely checked it out. It's great.
He does all kinds of statistics, numbers crunching and stuff. This sounds like it's right up his alley.
Oh yes, you do have a point there. Lily Kate did mention, of course, is they did not walk during the Great River, so from Lothlorien to Rauros, they were able to stay in the boat.
Yep, and that's true.
I'm sure elves can do it. They just don't like to brag about it.
Yeah, you know those elves. Very well. We'll then head on to the next item, which is the Wildermore video series. I think, Andang, you had something to do with that.
Nope, not me.
Okay, all right.
No, honestly, I had a lot of fun making this series. For those of you that don't know, it's a YouTube video series where I made 52 episodes of Wildermore as I was playing through the entire zone, and the big thing that I tried to focus on was the voiceover of all the quest text, because quest text I'm a big supporter of, and if you want to see that dramatized very poorly, then you can watch those Wildermore video series, and there's a link in the show notes to them there. And I have other similar content going through the epic story on my channel as well, if you're really interested in that kind of stuff. But yeah, that took forever. I started it, I think, 5 days after Wildermore came out, and released a video on every day that I didn't have another show coming out. For the most part, I did take a break for a little bit, but yeah, it took, the fact that it takes 52 20-minute videos to get through Wildermore is pretty impressive. I think that came out to like 17 and a half hours was the total runtime on that. So it's a good sized zone. I was surprised that it was that long. It didn't seem that long when I was playing through it.
And congratulations on finishing that, since I recently also just finished that zone for the second time. So
You just did the epic story. Come on.
no, the
Did
most
your
recent
podcast.
one I did the whole zone. I did the whole zone twice. The epic story was on a couple other characters.
Oh, well, you're just awesome then.
Yes, the video one I did. Quack quack. This show is brought to you by Amazon.com.
Moving right along.
It's the best
Not
time
even a
to move into our
segue.
sponsor.
Yeah, this show is brought to you by Amazon.com. Use the widget on the side of the site as on any purchase to help support LOTRO players. This show is also sponsored by Weta Workshop. Use the code WALK13 as the checkout for 10% off your purchase. This code is now valid until October 24th. Thank goodness they extended that.
Yeah, we just mentioned it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, we'll extend it." So definitely thanks to Magnus over at Weta Workshop.
All right, and donations. We want to thank you, a big thank you, for everyone who donated to the Fellowship Walk, who brought us up to our goal a little bit past 1,000, which is our 20% goal.
Yes, and it's definitely a big thing because we basically have to earn about 1,000 a week if we're going to make it to our goal. Technically a little bit less than that because the last leg of the walk is only till Thursday, not a Saturday. So it's definitely good that we made it to our goal this week, but we still have a long way to go, and hopefully everyone will help us reach that goal. We're just thoroughly amazed by everyone who's donated to the walk thus far, so thank you, everyone.
And we also have a big thank you for Flossen of Winfola and his $10 or more donation to LOTRO players. He thus therefore earns a mention on all of our podcasts that we do here at LOTRO Players. He says, "Hi everyone, I just want to thank you all so much for helping to make LOTRO so strong. I'm proud of how much everyone helps each other out in and out of the game. So thank you very much to Flossen." If you wish to donate also to help LOTRO players, simply go to the donation page where you will find the help support the podcast on LOTRO players and also help support the site. We have $5 and $10 mentions where you can donate to get a mention on one or all of our podcasts. $5 to be mentioned on one of our podcasts, $10 or more to be mentioned on all 6 of our current podcasts. But of course, at this time, we do wish to remind you that this is separate from the LOTRO players, from the Fellowship Walk one. If you want to give to Child's Play, that's a separate donation line.
Yes, and definitely donate to the Fellowship Walk. It's very important. A lot. Obviously, donate to Child's Play. Don't donate to us. But we did spend some of the funds that we've gotten that weren't already used on expenses to get some of those rewards for each step. But definitely donate to the Fellowship Walk first. If you really want to have a mention and stuff like that, then donate to LOTRO players this month. But the main thing is the walk right now.
Right, because the only thing that donating to LOTRO players will do other than getting you a mention is, of course, is to help us have more prizes for the walk.
Yep.
LOTRO Players News goes live every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. server time, which is U.S. Eastern Time. You can join us by clicking on the live button at the top right corner or by going to lotroplayers.com/live. Be sure to join us in the chat by following the directions on that page. Join us for the Fellowship Walk. You can go to the live page and click on the Special Fellowship Walk Live area. Click, and you click there, and you see a full, nice schedule there on what the Fellowship Walk is planning for in the future, which, of course, is we will be broadcasting each week at 2 p.m. on Saturday. So that'll be the 5th of October, the 12th of October, the 19th of October, and finally closing out on Thursday, October 24th, which is when Frodo woke up in Rivendell.
Yes, so everyone be sure to join us the coming Saturdays during the walk at 2 p.m. to help us continue to get further. And yeah, a big thanks to everyone who donated during the walk today. That was really awesome to see the community just come out and just in 2-hour period really give to Child's Play. That was fantastic. And so hopefully something similar will happen in the future weeks.
Does anyone else have any closing remarks?
Yeah, you don't have to wait for the walk to donate. You can donate at any time during the week using the widget.
That's right. And then also, if you donate before this Saturday, you can help us get towards one of our next giveaway goals. So definitely a good thing to donate before the walk, because once the walk starts, those goals go away.
Very well. That is all for tonight. Until next time, this is Pine Leaf Needles, and remember to skirmish responsibly.